will now call to order the meeting of the Mount Diablo Unified School District for January 21st, 2026. Let the record show that our student trustee, Trustee Barrero Oriana, has joined us. The rest of the board is present. We start with our land acknowledgement. We recognize that the Mount Diablo Unified School District sits on the territory of the Confederated Villages of the Shawn, the ancestral and unceded land of the Bayne-Weewalk and Northern Yokot, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Contra Costa County. As members of the Mount Diablo Unified School District community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we learn, but also we recognize the land that we inhabit and learn on is the ancestral land of these people who are alive and flourishing members of the Mount Diablo Unified School District and broader Bay Area communities today. Will you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we will have review and potential approval of the minutes for the regular board meeting held on January 14th, 2026.
Madam President, I move the board approve the minutes for the January 14th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
We have a motion from Trustee Mayo, a second from Trustee McDougall. We'll be voting tonight. Our votes won't show up on the screen, but we will announce them.
We're all logged in.
Okay. Trustee Oriana Barria, we did backwards today. Barrero Oriana,
Yes.
Trustee McDougall,
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi,
Yes.
Trustee Mayo,
Yes.
Trustee Mason votes yes as well. So that passes unanimously. Our next order of business is, I believe it is the approval of the agenda as presented.
No changes, Madam President.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion. Keep going verbal. Okay. We have a motion by Trustee Nzewi, a second by Trustee Barrero Oriana. Trustee Barrero Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee McDougall?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee Mayo?
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi and
Yes.
Trustee Mason votes yes as well. Okay. Report out of closed session. In our closed session, the board received information. We also, on discipline, dismissal, release, or reassignment of public employee, we had a vote of 5-0, and the board took action to approve the resignation of one employee per a separation agreement. And anticipated litigation, in a matter of one case of anticipated litigation, the board by a vote of 5-0 gave direction to outside counsel. And that takes us to public comment. Under public comment, the public may address the board regarding any item not on the agenda. The public comment will also be allowed on each specific agenda item prior to that board action thereon. In accordance with the Brown Act, the board may not take action or engage in dialogue on items that are not on the proposed agenda. Our public comment period lasts 30 minutes, so we will be done at 6:34. And I just want folks to know that even though we can't comment or engage in conversation, you can be assured the people that need to hear what you have to say are here and listening. And we're going to do 2 minutes due to the amount. The first is, I believe, Noor Hamid.
Can you turn on your microphone? By pressing the button. Press
See
the
the
button.
green light
the
go on.
micro. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. When I first came to the United States, communicating in English was very difficult for me in official places. I often felt confused and alone because I did not know how to express myself clearly. I realized that if I wanted to build a better future, I had to learn English and learn how to speak professionally. I decided to enroll in an English class at Loma Vista Adult Center Family Literacy Program. My teacher, Miss Susan Rausch, encouraged me by giving me grammar books, reading materials, and dictionaries. She believed in me even when I doubt on myself. She taught me how to write a strong resume, prepare a professional cover letter, apply for jobs, and prepare for interviews. She even supported me by becoming my professional reference, which means everything to me. Because I was new to the community, I did not know many people. I applied and got the job, the position of community services for Meadow Homes Elementary School, as well as for Cambridge Elementary School. Today, I'm proud of how far I came. I'm grateful for the support that helped me grow both academically and professionally. My journey continues with confidence, determination, and a strong commitment to long life learning. I sincerely appreciate the United States, the Adult Learning Center, and my kind and inspiring teacher for always believing in me and supporting me. Become my dreams true. Thank you so much, Varro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Marin Anton.
Good evening, trustees, Dr. Clark. I'm reading a letter on behalf of a student who couldn't make it tonight because she had to work. My name is Zakia Ahmadi, and I am from Afghanistan. I come from an educated family in which my uncle and father served as government officials and medical doctors. I completed both my high school and university education in Kabul, Afghanistan. My father consistently supported and encouraged my brothers, sisters, and me to pursue education to the highest level possible, believing that education is a powerful weapon that no one can take away from you. After completing my education, I worked for more than 14 years as project manager at ACSOR Surveys, Afghan Center for Socioeconomic and Opinion Research, a private research company with its managing directorship based in Virginia, United States. During my tenure, I managed and successfully delivered numerous national level quantitative and qualitative public opinion research projects, ensuring that they met high client and quality standards. Due to security problems, I left my country in 2021 and moved to Pakistan. In 2023, I immigrated to the United States. After staying at home for a few months, I decided to join Loma Vista Adult Education. I began my first semester at Miss Terry's class, where I learned many valuable things. I was then promoted to higher levels and studied for 2 semesters in High 1 and High 2 before advancing to the advanced level. I'm very grateful to all my teachers, Mrs. Terry Foglizo, Mr. Michael Mason, and Miss Elizabeth Lenahan for their dedication, guidance, and support for me and other students. After completing my ESL classes, I joined the medical assistant program, where I am currently studying. It's with a student teacher that we have. I will complete this program in January 2026, and afterwards I will participate in a 2-month externship. I would like to thank Ms. Jennifer Rivas, also who wanted to be here but could not attend tonight, for her support and instruction in the medical assistant field. I hope to serve as a medical assistant in the future. I would like to thank the respective organizations and the government of the United States for supporting and providing valued opportunities for all immigrants who are struggling to improve
Thank
and
you.
serve here.
Thank you.
Zakia.
Troy Hees or Hess?
Thank you. My name is Troy Hess. I'm an instructor at Mount Diablo Adult Education. I lead the EMT program there. I teach with Gary Giusti and many other people as part of my team. I wanted to bring acknowledgement to the program that we have over at Mount Diablo Adult. It'll one day probably go out on all of you at some point, although I hope it doesn't, but it will take care of you and stabilize you and hopefully make you feel better in return. We do tremendous things there. I'm not exaggerating. On a daily basis, I get an email from a student or a letter that they saved this person's life or that person's life, and it means a lot to me to be there. I work very, very hard. I'm a retired firefighter paramedic. I've been teaching now for over 25 years. I taught at Los Medanos College and Contra Costa College. I was also the director there. So I've been in EMT programs before, and I know what works and what doesn't. And we consistently put out a very high caliber student. I implore that. It has to be that way. We have very high standards that they have to, live by, and we put out really, really important people, and we're doing important things. And currently, we are dead last in pay. And I ask that you help us retain people like myself and others who come after me and come up to something that's fair and equitable, because being dead last is not fun in the pay department, especially for what we do. I have some students here that represent my program that can speak to you as well, but I very much appreciate each of you listening to me, and I hope that we can meet a common ground. And you're all welcome anytime to come and visit our program. I know Mr. McDougall has, and you're all welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aubrey, and I'm going to let you say your last name because I'll butcher it.
Hi, everyone. My name's Aubrey, and I am a part of the EMS core program that Troy was just talking about. And before I say anything else, I just want to say how grateful I am for everything this program has done for me so far. I'm grateful for all of my instructors. I'm for Troy Hess, for Gary Giusti, for Tony and Lupo, for every single person who had given me any piece of advice. I want to say thank you, and I want to truly emphasize on the fact that this program has truly saved me. I am currently 18 years old. I graduated high school last year, because since it's 2026 right now, and I felt very lost in life. I had no clear idea of what I was going to do past that. And one day I discovered medicine as a whole, and I discovered it as a field, and I discovered it as a chance for me to advance in my professional career. And I feel like this program, as soon as I found out about it, as soon as I joined it, it has helped me tremendously to understand my true path in life and to give me an insight of what it looks like and what it feels like to be in the healthcare field. So I really want to say how grateful I am one more time. And also, I really hope that all of my instructors, all of the people who had helped me, all of the resources are being truly compensated for it. And I want to make sure that this program lasts a long time so that people like me can find their solution to their life and the advice that they need. Thank you.
Thank you. Niema, or I messed it up. Offelter.
Hello, I'm Neve Affelter. I'm currently a student with the EMS Corps. As Aubrey said, this program is honestly amazing. I also came from a place where I wasn't sure I'd be able to do what I wanted to do with my life until I met my instructors. Troy Hess personally shows me that I can be more than what I think I am. He pushes me, he pushes my classmates, all of us to be the top tier students he knows we can. And there hasn't been a second where he's given up on us. He's never mad, he's never angry. And he just wants what's best for us and what's best for the community. So about in March, when we graduate, we get to be the people who come and save you. I just think that's wonderful.
Thank you. Dominic Moore.
Hello, I'm Dominic Moore, and I'm a part of the Contra Costa EMS Corps cohort number 2. I want to share a bit about my experience in this program so far and how it's changed my life. A year ago, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I wasn't living with purpose and felt extremely stuck in what I was doing. Now, thanks to this program, my peers, and especially my instructors, I live every day with purpose. I know exactly what I want to do with my life and exactly how I want to get there. I have every resource that I would need along the way, and I have an amazing program to thank for that. I don't feel stuck anymore, and I feel like I'm finally thriving by doing something I actually care to do. I'm thankful every day for the opportunities I'm given. Our instructor, Troy Hess, makes learning fun while also upholding the effectiveness of his lessons, which is something I genuinely didn't know was possible. I have such a great time in class, and I'm already super close with my peers. This program has changed our lives as future EMTs and deserves to be recognized for that.
Thank you. Diego Demasian.
Hello, my name is Diego. Just like all my friends here, I felt like I've actually found a purpose in this course. And, I used to be a drifter too. My life has been a little chaotic from the time I graduated high school in 19 to 2026 now. I've never thought I'd be in a field where I'd be saving lives. And it kind of feels nice for once to finally feel like I'm helping people, even if it's just a little bit. And that's thanks to Mr. Hess and Mr. Gusti. And they do a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean they get paid bottom of the barrel. And fast food workers get paid more than that, which when he told me that, I think is kind of unfair that always the best teachers, the best instructors, the people who have character, the ones that actually motivate people, are always the ones that get put under at the bottom of the list. And I feel like you guys have a chance to actually make a difference, to maybe invite more people who want to come into the program and make a difference. And that's what I'm hoping, this is kind of would come to. And that shows that maybe there can maybe be a difference for the teachers to maybe bring in more like-minded people like my classmates and myself who maybe didn't have a purpose or didn't have anywhere going for them and actually find someone. And I actually think of Mr. Hess as a great mentor. He's very much like Neem said, there for every student. He's never mad. He always wants you to push, even if he sees you're struggling and he thinks that you might not do, he always gives you a leg up. And so I think that's more than enough to show that he deserves more and he deserves the respect I think he really earns. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Reynolds.
My name is Katie Reynolds, and I'm the director for the, can you hear me? Okay?
Pull that microphone. There you go.
I'm a little short. I'm the director for the dental assistant program for Loma Vista, and I've worked for Mount Diablo Adult Ed for 16 years. The program's very dear to my heart. It was my program 42 years ago. My favorite part of my job is seeing our students have a viable skill and support themselves. We have a 98% hire rate. We're very proud of that. I do worry, though. Thanks for this opportunity to talk to you about our concerns. Retaining teachers. I have a second job to make ends meet, even though I'm full-time. And I've had 3 teachers that I've worked with there that have left because they couldn't support themselves on the salaries. So I definitely hope you'll consider that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nicole Newham.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Nicole. I'm from the Philippines and I really didn't know about the dental assisting program. I'm from the dental assisting program and I had a background in the dental field in my country. But when I moved here, I was really lost and I found the Loma Vista dental assisting program through the mail. And it kind of gave me hope, even if, Miss Katie Reynolds and Miss Stephanie and all of my friends, my classmates really gave me purpose. Because to be honest, I don't really know what to do here. And yeah, and I've improved my skills even if I had the background. And I'm learning the things I didn't learn when I was in my country. So now I'm in my externship program and I'm having fun. I'm excited to meet new people, and my doctors, instructors there are really helping me gain more skill and to be more prepared in this country. So all of this to say is this program really means a lot to me, and I hope, you know, you, you give them what they deserve because they do a lot for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie Marquez.
Hello, trustees and Dr. Clark. I'm Steph Marquez. I'm an instructor for the dental assistant program, along with my colleague Katie Reynolds. And I also am a product of our program. I graduated about 10 years ago. And our program, like Troy said, our programs on our campus are doing very important work. We're serving our community. We have, over the decades that our program has been in existence, we've placed dental assistants in every office in Contra Costa County. You know, there's our students, our graduates all over the place. We're very proud of the work we do, and we teach with our whole hearts. It is challenging. Like Katie mentioned, many of our instructors are working multiple jobs. Myself work multiple jobs to make ends meet. And our hope is that we can continue to attract instructors and retain instructors to continue doing this important work. Our students come from all backgrounds, all across our community, and we are just so proud of our statistics. Like Katie mentioned, almost 100% higher rate with each cohort. And we just hope that you consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Beatrice Camacho.
Good evening. I'm Beatrice Camacho. I am enrolled in the dental assisting program. It's such an important program to have. You have no idea, not even just the dental program, but the medical assistant and even the EMTs. You may not realize, but if you go to the dentist or your medical office, you might not know, maybe one of them have attended this program. And next time you go, you will probably see that. It's even my instructors, they're amazing. I can't even put to words. Our class is small, and even it's not enough. 2 instructors is not enough. They do so much work. It can be as easy as, hey, we're clocking in at this time, we're clocking out at that time, figure it out on your own. But they're truly not like that. They really put in work. They love what they do. They love us, hopefully. Yeah, it's such an amazing program. I had to travel more than 15 miles just because my city did not have this program. And luckily, I am able to drive here, attend, and hopefully just grow this more than grow this program more because it is needed. And that is all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is it Adri Shirley? Not here. Kim Rosales?
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm really grateful for the dental assisting program. It's definitely, my instructors have definitely motivated me so much. I wouldn't ask for any other instructors. They they do so much for us, and they care for us a lot, and they motivated me to be sorry. They really changed my life because they just give me so much drive to grow these skills and um mm, sorry. Um I I didn't know what I wanted to do with my career before I found this program, and they've just changed my life for the better. And um yeah, I don't know what I would do without them. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Rodriguez? I can tell it starts with an M.
Hi, my name is Maritza. I just want to share how this program is very important for me because a year ago I didn't know what to do with my life. I felt stuck. I come from immigrant Latino parents, and I've seen them work very hard their whole life. Our teachers invest so much time and so much effort into pushing the drive in us to be better for ourselves every day, and I don't think they get recognized enough for that. I'm currently in the dental program. I'm currently doing my externship hours. It's been such a fun time for me, and hoping that once I'm done with this program, I can be better for myself. And I want to I want to thank my instructors, Miss Deb and Miss Katie, for always being there for all their students and caring and pushing them to always be better. Thank you.
Thank you. And last speaker is Dama Klon. She here? The Daima, it looks like. No? Okay. That concludes our public comment. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your stories. Do we have any communications tonight? Does not look like it. All right, we'll go on to 10.0, recognitions and resolutions. Review and potential approval of resolution recognizing February as Career and Technical Education Month. Dr. Clark?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Tonight, we bring forward Resolution 25/26-48 in recognition of Career and Technical Education, CTE Month. Whereas February has been designated Career and Technical Education Month by the Association for Career and Technical Education. And whereas students in CTE programs participate in authentic, meaningful experiences that improve the quality of their education and increase their engagement and achievement. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the governing board of the Mount Diablo Unified School District proclaims the month of February as Career and Technical Education Month and urges all schools to become familiar with the services and benefits offered by the CTE programs in this community and to support and participate in these programs to enhance their individual work and productivity. Madam President, I leave this resolution in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I'd like to move that we approve this month as Career and Technical Education Month.
I'll second.
Motion by Trustee McDougal, a second by Trustee Oriana. And I think we can vote this way now. So
Can we just make a comment on this?
Yep.
Can I make a comment? I think this is one of the most important areas we can concentrate on in our district to improve our career and technical education, because not everyone goes to college, but they do need to have some way to make money when they get out of high school. And we just heard from these guys, well, they've left the room now, but they had a life-changing experience by going to EMT school or dental hygienist school. And I think that's the kind of story we want to hear regularly so that we know that 100% of our graduates are qualified either for a career or go to college. So I'm really proud that these guys are doing such a good job. Thank you.
Well said.
All right. Trustee Guerrero Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Are we getting? Oh, we are.
And that passes by a vote 5-0-0. Okay. Next, 10.2, review and potential approval of resolution 25-26-49 in recognition of February as Black and African American History Month. Dr. Clark.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I bring before you Resolution 25/26-49. Whereas the deep-rooted intrinsic value of Black and African American history presents our educational institutions with an opportunity for recognition, teaching, and celebrations. Whereas the civil rights movement helped change public policy from segregation to integration, resulting in the repeal of the post-Reconstruction era state laws mandating racial segregation in the South, known as the Jim Crow laws, thereby leading to the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Acts of 1965, and other anti-discrimination laws aimed at ending economic, legal, and social segregation in America. So whereas Black and African American history is continuously being made and concurrently classroom discussions that is courageous, is encouraged in the Mount Diablo Unified School District as an essential function of student-centered wellness and education. Madam President, I leave this resolution in the hands of the board.
I move I move that we approve resolution 2526-49 in recognition of February as Black and African American History Month.
Second.
Any comments by board members? Okay.
I don't have a book to read this year, but I do want to encourage within our district, education may, if for the schools and teachers who recognize the month, the education often goes around like the expected players. Martin Luther King, we just celebrated, Rosa Parks, the enslavement of of Africans in this nation and whatnot. And that's all good. And there is probably much more to be taught about that, because what we've all been taught has been what textbook companies, usually run by white folks, have told us we should know. And there's way more to know than what we know. And so I encourage that we can stay, because there's so much more to learn. We can stay with the usual suspects, for lack of a better term, but I encourage our teachers and our students and families to go deeper. I'd also like folks to know that at the end of February, the last week of February, is Black Children's Book Week, and cultural affirmation is so important for everyone, that every child should be in a space that is culturally and linguistically affirming. Not just responsive, but affirming, and how we can do that year round to make a culturally affirming place for Black children is to ensure that there are books that all children can see that show Black children just being children like everybody else. So you can go to the website Black Baby Books, even though it's Black Children's Book Week. So it's not just baby books, but it's all children's books, and see ideas for how you can have books in your classroom space and libraries to affirm Black culture, which is just beneficial to all of our students.
Okay. No other comments? We'll take a vote. Trustee Guerrero Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes.
And that passes 5-0-0 with consent of our student trustee. All righty. 11.1, review and potential approval of Second Amendment to Employment Agreement for Adrian Vargas as Chief Business Officer for the Mount Diablo Unified School District through June 30th, 2027.
Yes, and Madam President, we have Ryan Sheehy to present this item.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Human Resources Department is bringing forward for review and potential approval a Second Amendment to the Employment Agreement for the Chief Business Officer, Adrian Vargas, which is effective through June 30th, 2027. The annual salary is set at step 2 of the attached revised CBO senior management salary schedule and is $240,855 plus district medical, dental, and vision insurance. The salary is based on a positive work calendar of 219 days with vacation accrual waived. With that, I leave this Second Amendment in the hands of the board.
Thank you.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the second agreement to the employment agreement for Adrian Vargas as Chief Business Officer for the Mount Diablo Unified School District through June 30th, 2027, as presented.
Second. Motion and a second. Motion made by trustee Mayo, second by trustee McDougall. Trustee Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes. Can I make a comment
You
before we get to the
absolutely
votes? I just want to compliment Mr. Vargas because even though we're in deficit spending mode, you do a darn good job at it because I continually read about the districts around here and we're doing pretty well. And so I want to make sure that you know that we appreciate that. I just wish we could get out of the deficit spending mode.
And that passes 500 with support from our student trustee. All righty, the next one, 11.2, review and potential approval of Second Amendment to Employment Agreement for Suzanne Stariki Kim as General Counsel to the Mount Diablo Unified School District through February 28, 2028.
Ryan Sheehy has this item as well.
The Human Resource Department is bringing forward for review and potential approval a Second Amendment to the Employment Agreement for General Counsel Suzanne Stareki Kim, which is effective through February 28th, 2028. The annual salary is set at step 4 of the attached revised DMA salary schedule, which is $280,465 plus an advanced degree stipend of $3,548 and district medical, dental, and vision insurance. With that, I leave this Second Amendment in the hands of the board.
Thank you.
Madam President, I move the board approve the second amendment to the employment agreement for Suzanne Seki Kim as General Counsel for the Mount Diablo Unified School District through February 28th, 2028, as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. The motion was by trustee Mayo. The second was by trustee Oriana. Barrero Oriana. Any comments? Okay.
I was gonna say the student can't second.
On a
Sorry.
Personnel.
So we're going to have a second.
I'll second on behalf of our student trustee.
Yes. And that passes 500 with consent and approval of our student trustee. And I just say I'd like to thank both of these individuals for doing such a tremendous job for our district. We are, speaking of doing a tremendous job, getting a budget update.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have Adrian Vargas to do this. I know he and the team were in Sacramento yesterday hearing firsthand about the budget. And so he's going to report back some
So
great news.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. It's a short update. As Dr. Clark said, we were just at the workshop yesterday listening to the governor's proposals for the 26-27 fiscal year. So I'd like to start with our LCAP goals. And I do want to thank our friends at the attendance office. They did a presentation, and this is the first one where I've ever seen it on one slide. And I want to thank them because most of mine, there's quite a bit of information, but as Dr. Clark reminds us, these are our guiding principles. So I'm going to go through some of the highlights from the governor's proposal, and then just things that we will be evaluating for our second interim, which will be presented March 11th. First, these are the COLA change impacts or COLA changes. So at first interim, which was just a month ago, we presented COLA to be 3.02 next year and 3.42 in 27-28. So you can see with the new governor's budget proposal, those have dropped. So those were two big changes. Also within the proposal is another one-time student support and professional development block grant funding. Again, this is one time, but at 2.8 billion. As a reminder, for the 25-26, they issued out 1.7 billion. And then there's the last remaining dollars for the learning recovery block grant of about 757 million. Another 68 million for universal meals program. So that continues with the budget proposals. $1 billion of ongoing dollars for community school grants. An increase to ELOP, it should be 60 million, not 600 million.
Oh.
So just a little,
600 sounded so good.
yeah, just a little typo there. And then they continue the educator investments and literacy investments. So moving forward, these are just some slides that I pulled from yesterday's presentation, just showing you the base grant adjustments with the 2.41% applied by grade span. Also the TK add-on per ADA, so that goes up as well. And then the other slide to the right just kind of shows other programs that will be getting the 2.41 applied to it. So we're talking youth and foster care, child nutrition, the mandated block grant, special ed, state preschool funding. And then you can see the slide at the bottom just basically breaks out the different funding sources for our special ed funding we receive. So that as well, we'll see the 2.41%. And I just pulled that out because it's not something I really share in most of my presentations, but you can see what those allocations look like. I could try next time. And then moving on to the next slide, these basically highlight the student support and professional discretionary block grant. So it is the same use as we have this year. They do have an estimate of $512.48. So if we were to calculate that based off what we think we might be at P2, it would be roughly about $14 million for Mount Diablo. Again, I will stress one-time dollars, and more than likely it will help in the third year that is not showing this year, which is the third year of next year's budget, if that makes sense. So I haven't done that work yet. We will present the fourth year with the second interim and then flow these proposals through that, one with and one without. So we can kind of see the impact. And then here is the Learning Recovery Block Grant. That 757 million would generate probably close to $2.9 million for Mount Diablo. Again, this is one-time funding. We received roughly about 1.5 million this year. And basically what that is we paid back 4.4 million a couple of years ago when they pulled it back, and now we're getting it. And then just the different programs related to the food and nutrition services program.
Adrian, can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
You say one-time block grant. What's the time span that they are valid for?
On the learning recovery?
Yeah.
Through 27-28.
Okay, so that's the third year of our budget, right?
Of this current
one, yeah.
Of this current fiscal year, it's the third year, and then next year it'll be our second year of the 3-year multi-year.
But you mentioned a fourth year too. So how does we don't get the money that long?
So when I referenced the fourth year, all I'm saying is first interim, we provided a 3-year multi-year because that's what we're required to do. When we did the adopted budget, we did the same thing. So at second interim, I will show the fourth year because it's not a requirement, but it sets up the adoption of the next year's budget because it will become the third year out. So it just, again, the multi-year projections just give us kind of a roadmap of where we're going. We make our best guess at what those assumptions will be in those out years. And then you can kind of see a picture of what's coming. And, you know, as you talked about earlier, I mean, more than likely there'll be deficit spending because our fund balance is being spent down intentionally. So I haven't done it yet, but I don't know what that number looks like, but it will involve deficit spending. Then moving on, these are just slides highlighting Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, or ELOP, and then the Community Schools Grant, and then just a slide on other significant investments that are included in the governor's January proposal. And then this was a slide they shared yesterday, just kind of, you know, kind of the risks to the Prop 98 or local budgets. Luckily for Mount Diablo, we have not experienced declining enrollment, but it's really based on the growth of our TK program. Based off what we're projecting for next year, we think that we will expand that even further. We're working on those enrollment projections and refining them. And so we'll give a more detailed update in March. Of course, deficit spending, we're doing that now. And we're trying to utilize all our resources as best we can to mitigate, you know, the impact of potential layoffs and also meeting the 3% reserve in the third year out, which is a requirement for all school districts of our size. And then lastly, this is a new thing, the Prop 98 settle up. It started last year where they withheld $1.9 billion out of Prop 98 that should have been allocated. That's going to get repaid back. It's kind of tricky of how the state's doing that. And really what they're doing is they're buying back the cash deferral that we would have experienced. But it's basically just moving money around. But it's important to know that in next year's budget, that settle up is projected at about $5.5 billion. One slide I didn't show is the one that School Services shared yesterday. If the governor was to allocate what Prop 98 should be, that would probably be about $909 per ADA for school districts. And so again, if I were to project that out for us, we're about 27,388. I think the number was in the $24 million range. But that isn't what's more than likely not going to happen. But it was just a pretty impactful slide if you look at $909 per ADA. So moving on to second interim. So we will be evaluating the attendance data trends. We filed our P1 report in the early part of January. I will say that we, based off that report, we were close to 94% attendance to CBEDS enrollment. So that's 1% higher than what is our assumption at 93. But again, like I said, we will evaluate that. I evaluate from P1 to P2. And so P1 is the first time we report our attendance. P2 is the second time we do that. And that's due in the first week of May. So it won't be part of second interim, but we will do our best to project that out. So we will evaluate that and maybe update that assumption from 93 to 93 and a quarter, or maybe 93 and a half, but we will see what that trend looks like. Our final CalPADS number was at 29,377. So that was our CBEDS enrollment. So again, another year of growth for Mount Diablo. We will incorporate the multi-year projection in the multi-year projections. We'll incorporate those updated COLAs. Again, we'll update the attendance assumptions for LCFF. And remember, our negotiation settlement is based off the funded COLA. So with those dropping, we will take those minus 2/3% and make that adjustment in terms of what that impact will look like in the 2 out years. And again, as I stated earlier, I will be including the 4th year so we get a better idea of what we're looking at when we come back in June for the adopted budget. And so that is the end of my short presentation, but I can answer any questions.
When do you predict that the COLA will change again? Because we know it's not going to stay that way for the whole year.
So there's 8 data points that drives the COLA, and I believe they said yesterday that would be in late April. So what we would receive in May will for the May revise, which will be, I believe it's May 10th or 11th when that comes out from the governor. That will be more than likely the COLA for 26, 27. And then again, you know that's good for the budget year we're going into, but again, we work in the multi-year, so I'm always like, okay, that's great, but what are the 2 out years? Because that impacts your LCFF projections.
Thank you. Any other questions from board members?
Yeah, I do have a question. Just read, I think it was the CSBA newsletter that quoted the legislative analyst's office that disagreed with the optimistic projections of the governor. Was that under discussion yesterday at your meeting?
They discussed it in terms of charts, and they put up the LAO, they put up the governor's proposal, and they contrast the two. I'm just trying to think, for all the years I've been doing this, I don't think they've ever been in agreement. The LAO and the governor's proposal, the governor's proposal, even when Jerry Brown was governor, like they're always their tax assumptions are always more than the LAO. The LAO is very conservative, but that's been the historical piece, at least from my viewpoint. You know, and I just think about the settle up. You know, I do think about like holding back the full funding. Like I could see the argument for that. It staves off mid-year cuts. I was around doing this in 2012 before Prop 30 was passed, and we were going through, you know, the idea of mid-year cuts. And so I've seen what that looks like. That could be, you know, one of the reasons. And just kind of what happened, and I believe it was the end of 24, 25, the tax projections didn't come to fruition. Granted, we've made up for it, and they talked a lot about the AI boom, which is driving a lot of these tax revenues here in California.
We hope that's not a bubble.
Yeah, they commented on that too.
So you see the historic trends, though, of what the governor has proposed, very optimistic, and then the LAO that's a little more conservative.
Correct.
Who really has come closer to the mark over the past few?
I would say the governor's proposal is the one that gets passed.
It gets passed, but
it is probably
projections
a
are
lot
different.
closer than the LAO, but I'm working off the assumptions from the governor's or from the state enacted budget. All right, thank you.
Okay. 12.2, report from Student Advisory Committee. I believe I turned this over to Trustee Barry. Okay. Back to you that form.
Just, you know, if I'd have known when I knew we had students coming, I should have put them earlier on the agenda. I know you guys got homework and stuff to do tonight, right? Right. So my fault. I owe you guys. I just want to recognize our student trustee. He does a great job and takes his work very serious, but he is here to represent the voice of our students. And I know that we had a couple staff members who attended your all meetings and wanted to take over the meetings and gather all this information, because you guys are such a wealth of knowledge of things that are going on out at the schools. And so I'm glad that Samantha Allen and Christina Filios have 100% turned it over to the student trustee to get you guys here. So, and a couple of you were here quite early today, so I also want to recognize you guys for being punctual. Yes, thank you. I see these young faces walking down the hall. I'm like, who are these people? So anyway, Alan, please, the show is yours, and thank you so much for your service for the students of the Mount Diablo Unified School District.
I'll just give them a quick little intro. So we have almost all the members from the Student Advisory Committee here, and they're just going to give you a special report about their perspective on areas of strength and areas of improvement in each of their respective high schools. Unfortunately, the members from Northgate weren't able to come to the last meeting, so we don't have a slide for them. But I think one of the great things about this committee is the sharing of ideas and perspectives. For me, it allowed me to understand what a day in the life of another high school student is in the district, and to appreciate the strengths and weaknesses of each school, because having that open dialogue created a stronger connection between us. But yeah, I'm letting him take it away.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. I guess our goal is to analyze the respective strengths and weaknesses of each high school in Mount Diablo School District. Oh, I'm Gabriel Spraggins, and I'm here representing College Park High School. Next. And we are the Student Advisory Committee. Oh no. Am I hitting the wrong button? Oh, awesome. Okay, Mount Diablo. Teamwork.
All right. Okay, so good evening, board members and Superintendent Clark. How's everyone? We are good and thrilled to be here, and I'm quite anxious, but hey, we are quite excited. So, we present you Mount Diablo High School. So, we have a survey and its data, and if questioned, will be provided through any possible means. This survey has 204 respondents and was the basis of the bullet points as you see here. So I would like to go over first the weaknesses. So the inconsistencies with multiple departments. Sorry, it's kind of close. Right. So I clarify these inconsistencies that I'll be talking about correlate to the enforcement of rules and the need for more staff in the College and Career Center due to the heavily limited time frame in that department. To elaborate more, I conducted student interviews and I recognized a pattern of concern among students regarding skipping classes, where most skip to the bathrooms, into other classrooms, and even hop the fences in most cases. My primary concern is a growing lack of surveillance on these students. In most cases, the students not in their classes are repeat offenders, taking time from other students' opportunities to use their passes for necessary things, and they don't get caught by the staff. We appreciate the work the staff does, and for the sake of better effectiveness, we've noticed differences in how student experiences policies and support. Some still slip from their radar and don't follow the rules and still skip. The students are getting more creative, but in the wrong way. From this, they need to widen their scope of enforcement and have a consistent guideline and more transparent communication. And even a regular feedback opportunity like the newly formed Student Senate, represented by club presidents and students who want to advocate so student concerns can be addressed early. Furthermore, the College and Career Center is the most prominent center that caters to students. It actually makes students think of what lies ahead of them, especially their future. And the two counselors that we have, me personally, I'm lucky to have them in the school. But from what I recognize, there's a lot of students that they cater to, basically hundreds or even thousands from what I recall. And from what I ask is that we just need more people from the CCC or the College and Career Center so that the students would have a more larger time frame to consult with these advisors and would have more efficient more efficiency, and more effectiveness in deciding of what their future goals are. Now, next bullet point. I would like to go over infrastructure. Though I would like to thank the district for recent maintenance projects at Mount from what I see, I would still like to highlight that the school needs repair in so many buildings, especially bathrooms. Based on the survey, a combination of 67.7% or 138 students rated the bathroom quality as a 1 or 2 out of 5, where one student called it a nightmare to enter a bathroom. The state of most bathrooms are bad, with some mirrors being splattered with paint, and the high need for menstrual needs, soap, and tissue is not being consistently supplied based on the accounts of multiple students and other unsanitary factors. Another factor is the water fountains. As an athlete myself, I don't find the water fountains dependable, especially in one case where the water was orange. It was fixed quickly, but the taste has been low quality ever since. Additionally, there's a serious rat problem at the school. I hear reports that some show up in the cafeteria and even in the classrooms in several buildings. I really recommend a serious survey of the campus and its facilities needs because there are more issues with the school's infrastructure that I haven't mentioned. I don't want the school's infrastructure to be the main worry of students. It should be books and Chromebooks and not rats running around.
Can you please introduce yourself? You never did.
Oh, sorry. My name is Kevin Andrew Villanueva.
I'm Juliana Lopez, and I would like to move on to the third bullet point, teaching and learning. In a survey we conducted, 101 out of the 100 out of the 204 students who responded rated their teachers' lessons as a 3 or lower on a scale of 1 to 5. This rating was based on the level of engagement in their classes. I would also like to mention that most of them were 3, but I think that's still too low. Okay. I would like to share some quotes with you guys that we got on our survey. One student said, "I think it's just a me thing, but I can't really focus only because it's not very stimulating. Apart from my electives, all I really do is just sit at a seat and use my Chromebook to write stuff down, so it's easy to space out." Another student said, "The majority of my teachers do a fairly good job at teaching, but some of them do not seem to be teaching at all, or at least not in a way that their students could successfully gain knowledge from the material." And the last quote I want to share is, "Once again, it depends on the teachers, because 2 or 3 of my classes have little to no engagement, while in the other 2 or 3 I am fully engaged on learning." Overall, I believe Mount Diablo High School should place a greater emphasis on creating more engaging lessons to help students stay focused and retain knowledge better, not just move through the motions of school. Okay. Our next bullet point is pride and spirit. Another one of our weaknesses is pride and spirit, the most notable thing being the removal of rallies. School rallies help build a sense of community, belonging, and identity among the students. Because of the removal of rallies at our school, people feel less connected to it. Also, rallies and more school-wide events help give students a break from academic stress and help acknowledge student athletes. Without school pride, we can't have a defined identity as a school, which leads to low morale about students' learning environments.
Now, lastly, in our weaknesses, I would like to talk about the bathroom policy or the policy making. Policies such as the bathroom limit have not resonated well with so many students, with 101 or 50% estimated of students rating this new policy as a 1 out of 5 in the survey. Basically, to give a gist of this policy, the bathroom limit only allows students to go to the bathroom 24 times per semester or 12 per quarter, with the intention for students to gain more class time and reduce incidents of cutting class. This has raised questions and concerns as people thought about conditions where one may need to go to the bathroom above that limit, and especially the ladies out there who need to go a lot because of their menstrual needs. I heard that if you run out of passes, you need an escort going with you once you run out of passes, which raises more questions. This situation is complex, and the school is already figuring this thing out through experimentation with rewards from safe passes and much more configuration with the new policy. This honestly needs more coherence with the student body and more listening to feedback on the bathroom policy. And let the staff and student body be heard, as many have mixed opinions and thoughts that need to be brought at the table. So, moving on to the positives.
Our first bullet point is student and staff persistence. Our staff shows persistence by supporting students even when learning is challenging. This can be seen through the after-school tutoring we have during final exam periods. When students fall behind, there is a good support system to help them recover. This includes credit recovery and counseling support. Staff helps students when they need a adapted situation based on their personal lives. This can include extending deadlines and extra support for them. Staff members make the most out of these situations by providing extra support for students during lunch, after school, and even on some weekends. The next bullet point is strong community. Mount Diablo High School, at Mount Diablo High School, I would say we have a strong sense of community, which is largely built from student-ran clubs, which allows students to form meaningful connections based on shared interests and identities. There are many cultural and community-oriented clubs at our school. Personally, I believe that this is one of Mount Diablo's greatest strengths, a motivated and passionate student body. For example, we are both students who are actively involved in community clubs. I serve as the president of our Gender and Sexuality Alliance Club, our Ballet Flocorico Club, and Latinos Unidos Club.
And I serve as the president of FASA, or the Filipino American Student Association.
Through these clubs, I have seen students build communities where they feel safe, supported, and comfortable, giving them a sense of belonging and a positive space within the school.
All right. Now, I would like to go over opportunities in and out. So, in day-to-day life, I see opportunity after opportunity in my school life, especially coming from the Philippines a year ago. So, especially that being a part of the student committee, Mount Diablo never shies away from such. Walking in the College and Career Center provides summer programs in universities, field trips in top campuses, and a plethora of scholarships from multiple sources. Basically, as I said before, a clear path into the future provided directly for the student body. For my personal take, this is how I got lucky and got into a summer program in UC Berkeley, where I got to study there for a month, and I made a lot of connections with professors and students, and I've never been more lucky and happy and thankful. So, it's not too shabby. For seniors, they also help out with college applications, especially during seasonal breaks. The counselors open up their doors, besides from heating up the turkey for Thanksgiving. So, and I would also like to mention again, the student-run clubs empower the students in many aspects of culture and hobbies. It is nice to see the performances and the hard work of these students, where they put in hours after school, where they try to do the little tinikling dance. I was like leading one of them, and it was nice to see them like working hard. And basically, the school also holds events like Club Carnival, where we get to showcase those performances. And even last December, we had this thing called Coco and Cram, where they get to study after hours as well. And that is where that is opportunity where I got to gather student insight for this presentation. So, and oh, one more thing. The admin, they provided a small volleyball net for the people that want to play at lunch. So yeah, that's also one thing. One good thing to add, because that enthralled my passion for volleyball, and that's how I became varsity. So you can shine in Mount if you choose to. The doors are open, and I am lucky to enter each one in my path. The people who work for the school all work with these students shining, and I commend all of them for putting in the hard work. So, last but not least, the teachers. So, to clarify, after giving this much thought, I want to broaden this out to the entire staff, like teachers, administration, and other staff members on this campus. So this is all about them. From the interviews I conducted, one person said it well. Being a therapist, a coach, a parental figure, many more than just what they work for in this school. They spend hours putting more than their intended time of doing work for these students, and I would highly recommend the staff of this school. End quote. So the staff who brought life into this campus other than the students and who laid an open arm in assisting others, besides from the subject or duty they pertain to. From my experience, many staff members have their own take in doing their duty. One educates medical subjects while running medical businesses, even giving Kickstarters for students in the field. One helps me with my club and makes it survive and thrive, having a lively sense of home and community, one of my dreams coming here in America. One is brave and fosters ethical thinking. One, as I said, brought out that volleyball net, many to enjoy. One brings out fun questions at the end of the quiz to lighten up the mood. One brought me up in this stage, giving me this opportunity to talk to important people like everyone in this room. Regardless of the staff having weaknesses, this roster is strong, and I am thankful for it. I always love imagining their smiles matching with the students, regardless of who they are, and that is what I see every day. I hope that any teacher watching this or hearing about my thanks, and I hope that they keep on striving for the love of knowledge and empowering the student body of Mount Diablo High School. So, I would like to conclude that many people say or stereotype the school for being ghetto, and I think that is a far perception. This school truly needs change, and we represent the student body or even everyone at that matter when we say this. We want to show all of you how much the school means to us and how it changed us and how everyone got a and to show everyone a closer perception of what Mount truly is. Mount should be highlighted in places where it hasn't, where you will see a strong, diverse, and persistent community where educators and staff members intend to make students shine and not just graduate. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My name again is Kevin Andrew Villanueva,
And I'm Juliana Lopez.
and thank you all for listening. It's been a pleasure.
Fantastic job.
And I would like to call on Ignacio Valley High School.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Vanessa Ariola Mora, and I am representing Ignacio Valley High School. So to start, thank you. Okay, I like to leave best for last. So I would like to start with the weaknesses. So for my first bullet point, I have put we need more school spirit slash pride. So what I personally have seen from my perspective at my school, I believe. Sorry. Okay. 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 Um, yeah, so I believe that our school needs more spirit slash pride. For example, I have personally seen many of our sports home games. I've only seen parents showing up. I don't notice many students. For example, football games. I believe that football is one of the most important high school experience, which many of us have experienced. And it just disappoints me to see a few students showing up every game. And another point would be our leadership class. We have leadership as a class and not a club, which I personally find a bit disappointing due to many of our students' schedules being filled up with many important classes that are needed. Um, so I don't see much leadership representation being shown. Um, sorry. Yeah, so I would just like to see more student involvement. And moving on to my second bullet point, um, what I mean by we need better representation. Um, is everyone sees from outside perspectives. Most of the inputs that I've gotten for views of YV is ghetto. It's not a good school. Um, before I actually came to Ignacio Valley High School, um, me personally, I was thinking, oh, I am nervous. I am scared of everything I've heard. But when I actually came onto the campus, when I've actually um, became involved, I have noticed that it is the complete opposite. Um, for example, I have seen many news stations come to YV this year. I have noticed that the only way that YV gets any form of gets noticed is due to the bad things. The news stations have only came to our schools due to our bad things. It just puts a bad reputation on us. I've had many of my friends from other schools tell me, I don't know how you go there. And it just disappoints me every day. Um, so I do think that YV needs a better representation. I believe that it's not the students who are giving the bad representation, but I believe that it's the prejudice, sorry, and outputs more from people from outside the school. I have gotten many staff tell me the opposite, that they believe YV is a really good school. I would also like to mention um, my I have a teacher that I am really close with. I enjoy talking to her. Her current daughter goes to College Park. And so for the next school year, she will be transferring to Ignacio Valley High School. And she has claimed that many people are shocked, surprised, like, oh, you're moving your kid from College Park to Ignacio Valley High School? And many people just take it as a negative thing. So for my third bullet point, I also put we need more student representation. What I mean by that is more student perspective. So as for now, I have noticed that this student advisory committee is one of the only things we really have about student perspective. We have a site council, which I'm currently enrolled in. Um, I have been sorry, people have voted for me to be on the student council. Um, not once that I get like an email like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna continue with this. Until a week ago, when I have been selected to be site council months ago. And as for now, we do not have a student site council, which I believe that it is kind of disappointing because I believe that schools should see more of student perspectives. So this is why I really like being to this committee, because I like to really share out on what I think. And so for my fourth bullet point, I believe that we need more information presented to students. So many of the students that I talk to, many of my friends, acquaintances, I ask them, what do you want to do after school, after high school? Many of them just tell me, oh, quote unquote, just DVC. And it disappoints me. Well, it doesn't disappoint me, sorry. I am happy that they want to continue with school, but many of them don't know of the opportunities that we have. Um, I have noticed that every time I ask a student, are you aware that you can get a seal of biliteracy? Many of them just stare at me in confusion. Many of them don't know what it is. And it disappoints me because we have many students of different backgrounds. They can speak many languages. And most of them move out of high school without knowing what a seal of biliteracy is, not knowing that they can get that diploma of like, oh, I speak another language. And for my last bullet point, I believe that our school should provide more funding for our schools and for our sports and academies. Um, I have gotten a lot of student perspectives about this. Many of them tell me that their sports are not getting as much funding. Um, as for my personal experience, I have been on the varsity soccer team for the past 3 years. This year is my third year. Last school year, we would all have to carpool all together to away games. For example, we would have to carpool to places as far as Benicia because we couldn't get a school bus. Um, and another thing is our health pathway. I have a lot of friends who are involved with this health pathway. They have told me that their teacher pays mostly everything out of pocket. Um, which I get that most teachers like get a lot of stuff out of pocket. But they have told me they have seen this happen numerous times with stuff that are like for their assignments for the school. It's supposed to be for the necessities of the pathways. Um, and so another thing is most of our teachers are coaches. Um, I love the coaches. I enjoy their presence. But I have noticed that many of them have a lot of stress on them. Um, Most of them have a lot of experience, but they're not sure how to have experience with the sport, but not experience with coaching. And this has been happening with many of our sports. And so I would like to move on with our strengths. So for my first bullet point, um, we have many opportunities due to our Title One school, which I think it is really great. For example, an opportunity that Title One provides for us is making our testing more accessible. Our SATs, our AP classes, IB classes, they are paid for by the district, which I think is an amazing thing because as for my personal experience, um, my family currently wouldn't be able to support financially with my test due to me I take a lot of like AP classes, IB classes, and I just really think it's great how Title One school, because we are Title One school, we can get that paid for. For example, our AP exam, history AP exam, most of the students only paid $5 for it, which I think it's a really huge strength because it relieves a lot of families with their financial situation. And another opportunity that a Title One school provides for us is our CARES program. Mount Diablo also has this CARES program, which I think it's great. I spend all my break time in there, such as lunch and nutritional break. I love spending my time there. They provide many fun activities. We have a lot of field trips. We have field trips to colleges. I just recently took a field trip to UC Davis, which I was really excited for. UC Davis is one of my options for the future, which I think is great. And our CARES program also provides a lot of like food pantries. I see many students actually taking the food, which I think is really great. Many students I've noticed are in need for this. So I just think this CARES program is also a great strength due to the Title One school. And I would like to move on with our International Baccalaureate program. Um, I'm sure many are aware of the international baccalaureate program. Um, Me personally, I did not know about this until I actually got into my sophomore year. My teacher she speaks about it a lot and she encourages many to take this. The IB program makes has greater chances of a student getting to a college if you get the IB diploma, which I personally think it's great. The IB program also prepares students greatly for their future. It doesn't necessarily have to be for college. Last year, we actually had a student that gained their IB diploma and they moved on to the Navy. And that student has come back and spoke about it. And they have told us that the IB program really prepared him for it. Sorry. Um, and I also think that the IB program is a really huge strength for us because the IB program has the same small group of students, which many students really appreciate because I believe that many students really like to keep to themselves, keep their own small circle. Um, so yeah, I just think that IB is a really great strength for us. And moving on to my third bullet point, we have math tutoring offered in 4 different languages. The 4 languages being English, Pashto, Spanish, and Dari, which I think it's great due to us having many um, students of different ethnic groups, cultures, and not many of them really fully understand English very well. And I just think it's really great because they can be provided with the same opportunities that as everyone. And so moving on, I believe that our diversity at Ignacio Valley High School is one of our biggest strengths. Um, I've noticed that we have really accepting students. Um, for example, we just had some new students come in, and I noticed that a lot of my friends just like are friendly to them. They start talking to them. They make sure that they are not left out because, many it sucks to be left out. And I just think that our diversity is a really big strength. And so moving on to my last strength. So by proactive anti bigotry, I really mean that our school faces a lot of discrimination. Um, we face a lot of discrimination, like I mentioned before, by such as the news, people that I know outside of Ignacio Valley. Um, so yeah, about 2 years ago, we actually had some Trump supporters go to sorry, um they like went to the side of our school and they just displayed a bunch of Trump stuff and yeah, they just started making many racist comments to us and it really disappoints me because sorry, it's really sad to see many of my friends of my family being discriminated. And it really sucks. Like I said before, the news station has actually came to YV. They only come for our bad stuff. They never really come for our good stuff. Um, and yeah, I'll be passing it on to Concord High School. And thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kobe Ekweme. I'm a senior at Concord High School. In talks of the strengths and weaknesses of Concord High School, I'm gonna start with the strengths. First, we got Wellness Center. Lift it up. Okay. Okay. First, we have the Wellness Center. So I am personally the TA of our Wellness Center advisor. So I get to see all the people she works with. So every day on a daily basis, I see how people are struggling mentally or they can't focus in school. And like I just see how helpful she is. She gives good advice, great advice. Um, she's I consider her a second mom, to be honest. She's just that good of a person. And I think every campus needs someone like her. Second, outstanding college and career advisor. Being a senior in high school right now, we're focused on applying to colleges, getting scholarships. So our college and career advisor, Mrs. Burgum, she's really good at advising us, telling us new scholarships that are available, and like basically pushing us to be better and apply to colleges and make sure that our future is bright. And yeah, and it's crazy that she's literally the only college and career advisor on the whole campus, and she still manages to make an effort and like find people. She goes to you and make sure that you're filled with the correct information, the right information, and she's just so genuine, and I actually love her. Um, Third, great and reliable counselors. Okay, so we have three counselors at Concord High School: Miss Yagi, Miss Saragusa, Miss Heindel. I'm personally, my counselor is Miss Saragusa, so I can speak for her, but she's amazing. I mean, I come to her for school, non-school. We talk about sports. It could be anything, to be honest. And like, I think we've built a closer relationship this year, and our counselors are just really reliable and trustworthy. So next, we got diversity of students. So at Concord High School, we have people from different backgrounds, people from who speak different languages, different cultures. And I think this is a strength because I feel like you need people from different communities to come together. And that's what builds a strong community. Without that, I feel like it's not really a strong community because it's just one, you know, culture or one. So when you have multiple cultures and multiple people from different backgrounds come together, it just makes it stronger as a whole. And lastly, our quality of band. Well, Concord High School, I think most people know our band is one of the best, not to flex, but yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we've won so many events. We've won a lot of money in the past. Like our band is probably our best program. So that's self-explanatory. On to the weaknesses. Uh, Limited activities for upperclassmen. So being an upperclassman myself, I'm in Link Crew, which is a class that focuses on planning events for freshmen. And I feel like we as upperclassmen, we do most of the planning, but there's not that many activities for us. So it feels like when you're a junior or senior, like a lot of people describe it as feeling like going through the motions, like they're not really in it. There's really nothing there on campus for them, and it's just us planning for the other people. So I just wish we had more activities for us and more, yeah, focus more on juniors and seniors as well. Next, moderate school spirit. I think this goes hands to hand to what I said before about, students not feeling or not having enough activities, because if you don't have enough activities, you're probably not involved on campus. And if you're not involved on campus, then your school spirit is definitely going to be low. So yeah. Next, we got short variety of clubs. Like I said earlier, we have different variety of people here at Concord High School. So I personally wish, being Nigerian American, like I wish I had more clubs like towards me. So I feel like there are a lot of people on campus who relate to me who are from different cultures and backgrounds, who feel like there are clubs who are basic or generic, and there's not that many clubs for them. So if we had more clubs for that, more diverse, that would be awesome. And lastly, the lack of recognition for grades 10 and up. Okay, ever since sophomore year, I can say that I've received maybe 2 or 3 awards, and I consider myself like a pretty good student. Like I work hard every day, I study hard. I think a lot of the times we focus on students who are doing bad, and then we tend to forget about the students who are actually exceeding or like performing, right? Like we don't have that many ceremonies. We don't have that many, awards for students who are 4.0. Like I have a 4.0. Like I feel like I should be getting something, if that's safe to say. Like, you know, uh, but yeah, I just wish, students grade 10, 11, 12. I feel like freshman year, our freshmen in our school at least, we're really good at like we have link crew. We guide them and then make sure they know what they're doing. And we're extra, what's the word? We take care of our freshmen in our school, but then because of that, we're limiting other grade levels. And I think we need to focus more on other grade levels as well. Thank you. And to College Park.
We are with College Park High School. My name is Dara Mitchell.
Hello, good evening, board and Superintendent Clark. I'm Gabriel Spraggins. And today I'm going to be going over the strengths of our school. We have a very active student body on our campus. All of our scholars, they participate in clubs, extracurriculars, sports. They're very proactive with students in general on our campus. Next bullet point, we have very supportive and friendly staff. I want to say our counselors, they're very wonderful people. I moved here from North Carolina last year in January, and as a transfer student, they really helped me adjust to California and just the new school in general. They were very supportive and helpful, and also our teachers as well. If you need anything, you can go to our teachers. They're also very nice. They're willing to work with you on things if you're like sick or absent, if things come up. To add on to that, our principal, Dr. Richardson, best principal I think I've ever had. You often see him walking around campus. He's very happy. He'll stop and say hi to you. And even though we have like 2,000 plus students, he'll somehow remember every single one of our names. And if he doesn't, he'll give you a Starbucks gift card. He's an incredible person, and he'll always be on the intercom being like, good morning, young scholars. He's a great person to have around, and I'm very grateful for him. Moving on, we have we offer DVC dual enrollment classes where you can take college classes early. It's very good for students that want to get ahead early, get ahead sooner. We also offer a lot of advanced placement classes. We actually offer every single math class at our school for an AP, which it's incredible that they have so many options for everyone that wants to really take advantage of their schooling in high school. We also offer a biomed pathway for those that want to get into the medical field and want to have an easy transition into a medical profession. We have a very diverse club options. I want to say we have a club about for anybody. We have a Christian club. We have a Filipino club where we also do the Tinikling dance. We even have a club rally where people of different cultures or ethnic groups can show off what makes them special and where they come from, which I think is a beautiful thing. That also ties into diversity. But I think adding on to the diversity and just diverse club options as well, we have people from just about anywhere. A lot of my friends, they actually live out in Antioch, which cool. They drive all the way down to College Park and they share their experiences, and everyone is different and very unique, I'd say.
With a large student body come some challenges as well, namely that the infrastructure of our school is not built to accommodate 2,000 students and nearly 200 staff members. With a student to teacher ratio of nearly 30-1, it is impossible for teachers to teach to their full abilities. Hallways become completely unwalkable, and bathrooms are constantly full at this scale, leading to a poor quality of life for students. The large population also leads to some students becoming very comfortable in their anonymity, causing people to act in destructive ways that they wouldn't typically. Since there's no way to find the culprit in a large crowd, individuals are able to get away with inexcusable actions. Additionally, many staff members do not punish students for behavior that happens in their room or around campus. They often shy away from difficult conversations, either from fear of being fired or an inability to sit in discomfort of the topic. This affects the student body negatively because students aren't told why a certain symbol or word is hurtful. On the other hand, Certain teachers can be very comfortable in the power imbalance that occurs in a classroom, using their authority and influence to intimidate students. Our large population comes with positives like diversity and our supportive student body, but it ultimately affects the student life and education negatively on campus. Does anyone on the board have any questions or comments for the schools?
So I had the question for Mount Diablo High School. You indicated that you didn't have any rallies. Is there a reason why rallies were canceled? Because I recall attending a rally.
Okay. So, okay, so would it be okay if I say my answer, then she says your answer?
Go ahead.
Sure. All right, cool. So, in Mount Diablo High School, um, it's from what I recalled, uh, it hasn't really been made clear to the students as much, though, I don't really want to say rumors to spread misinformation, but it hasn't been made clear to the students on why there are no rallies.
That's fair.
We only talked about it once in our leadership class, which is what, produces the rallies. And we didn't really have a conversation about it. It was just a small comment that we wouldn't be having any until our end of the year rally, the multicultural rally.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And do the other high schools have rallies? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to say, number one, love hearing from all of you. The rest of them know this and they get sick of hearing it. I graduated from this district and I graduated from Pacifica High School, which was out in Bay Point, which the rest of the district called Kaka High. That's what we were met with. So trust me that the things that challenge you and the things that make you feel bad are the things that are going to make you persistent, going to make you stronger, going to make you better citizens. And pretty soon you'll be like me and people hear your name and go, oh no, here that person comes, because you're going to hold people accountable. So I thank you for your bravery and speaking your truth, for being willing to stand up for the people you go to school for and the communities you live in. And you make me as a board member very proud to be a board member. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I have a question. Sorry, I don't have a question, just a comment. Thank you. Thank you all for your thorough research and analysis, which you can write on your college applications if you haven't gotten there yet. And that was like and conclusions and recommendations. So you did the whole thing. So I really appreciate your hard work and your insight into things we don't see or even hear from our own children.
So I would just echo my fellow board members in commending you for a great job. We're so excited to hear from you. It's something I've been looking forward to. And also in terms of how we make our district better and how we make our schools better, it begins with what you just did here, which is gathering this information, presenting this information, being advocates for it. So I just wanted to thank you for that, and great job.
And I just, as your superintendent, I just want you all to know that I'm extremely proud of each and every one of you. And I come to work every single day with high hopes, and you are the reasons why I work so hard. If you've ever tuned into our board meetings, I talk about you all at every meeting, and I talk about how the adults' perceptions of you all is unfair, because each and every one of you are incredible people. You represent incredible student bodies, and there is nothing wrong with our students. It's the adults that need work. Every one of your highlights and lowlights were spot on. As someone who's been doing this work for over 30 years and has multiple degrees and has been in multiple schools, you all were spot on in every single thing that you said about your schools, what make them great and where we need to improve. And so I want all of you to hold your heads up high and to continue to work at doing whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's school or whether it's at work or whether it's at home or your communities, to continue to bring that level of care and representation of your people and to elevate them. And I assume all seniors, almost, juniors, some juniors there? Senior. And do we all want to go to college? Every last one of you. Very good. That is our goal here, is to prepare you all for college and career. And I know that the stories that are told about our high schools, they don't reflect the students that are in them. Because as I go out to our schools, and I've seen some of you around, you guys are doing wonderful things, and I'm extremely proud of you. And I hope that the adults in this room, because you have some very powerful people in this room who heard what you said, and we have the power to continue to work on that to try to make your experiences even better. They should be the absolute best experiences, and this ought to be your best experience in high school. You only get one high school experience, and we truly want to make it the best. So before you guys leave, I'm gonna come over in front of your little picture there, and we're gonna take a picture. And again, I just want you all to know how proud we are of you. Your words are, we're taking it to heart, and we have this on tape, and we will be following up with many of the things you guys brought up. And just know the things you guys brought up are not new. We've known about these things, and we've worked on these things, and shame on us adults for not fixing them a long time ago. And Alan, I just want to say, like kudos, like this is the work that you're doing. This is the best presentation we've had all year. In many years, this is it.
5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, so you all did a great job, and I know it's not easy to talk in front of a microphone. It's not hard to talk in front of strangers and things like that, but you all did a fantastic job, and I'm extremely proud of you all. All right. Alan, will you come over and take a picture with us?
Let's see, where's the kiss? Hey.
Thank you, good doctor.
Okay. What board member wants to follow that report? Why don't you start with this? We'll stay on our good roll here with our student.
As you can see from the last presentation, I met up with the student advisory committee last Thursday to work on this presentation, and we were able to elect 2 vice chairs and a secretary. Yesterday as well, I was able to meet with Ms. McKinnon, the principal of Concord High. As Kobe talked about in the presentation, he felt that lack of recognition sometimes towards academics. So we talked about creating an honor roll program. We talked about areas of improvement and change that we see in the school. This Monday on MLK Day, I went to Concord High School and participated in the community service there, cleaning up the campus. I just want to send a thank you to everyone who was there and cleaned up. It really doesn't make a difference when our campus is cleaner. It enhances the students' ability to learn. For many of us, it's a second home, and it's important to take care of it. In honor of MLK Day, I wanted to share one of my favorite quotes of his. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. His messages of hope, justice, and equality expand generations. His message will never die as long as there are young people like we have today willing to speak out against injustice.
Thank you. Okay. Any volunteers? If not, I'll call on people.
Happy to volunteer, and I'll keep mine short. And again, just that was a fantastic presentation. And I think the important thing is, and my expectation, and I know the superintendent's expectation is that our administrators, as they get that feedback, that they are going to be receptive. Not everything's going to be done immediately, but that they have a fair hearing on those things, that they take that student input and we hear back. So it's not just a presentation, but rather it's an ongoing process. So, and then I do also want some names for Northgate as to why they weren't here. So, and then outside of that, I will say in the Northgate area, I will call out the fact that our new Cal football coach is he went to De La Salle, but he is a Walnut Acres and Foothill alum, which is great to see, and a proud Jaguar and Griffin. And we were just here last week, so I was going to keep mine short, and I will can see the rest of my time. Thank you.
Of course, it was a short time, so there's not much to report. I did take a weekend up to the mountains and then the holiday Monday, so there weren't a lot of opportunities. The upcoming schedule is busy with the start of CTE and MDBEA sessions, so we're looking forward to that. And finally, I will have a town hall on the 2nd of February. It will be at the Concord Library from 6:45 to 7:45. Thank you.
Thank you. I had the opportunity, despite my cold, to attend 3 meetings since we last met. The first one, and Ms. Mason was there as well, was the District Learner Advisory Committee meeting, which was last Thursday. There was a presentation by Aaron Vallejo regarding the AI tools and use in Mount Diablo School District, which are available in multiple language across our district. These tools include Brisk Teaching and Magic School AI, and I have recommended to our 18 PTA schools that they perhaps invite Ms. Vallejo or someone else to make a presentation to parents in their school communities, because I believe this is a profound interest to our parents and we should know more about it. I attended the Parent Advisory Committee meeting on the 20th, and we had a presentation about student services by Melissa Brennan and Jessica Pozos. And they included all of the services and mental health services, our wellness centers, therapeutic services, and social emotional educational collaborative. And I don't think our community understands the breadth and depth of the services that we provide. And I believe that many of the parents that attended the meeting last night were surprised to learn about some of those. So thank you for those. In addition, there was a comment, some information shared about SOAR, which stands for Support Office for Access and Resources, and working on student re-engagement in learning, building connections for schools and families and community resources. And tomorrow night at 4:30 at Willow Creek Center, they're having a SOAR event where families can come, share some bread, and also pick up some items that will be helpful to the families, like coats, gloves, blankets, those sorts of things. Ms. DiMartini gave the education services presentation along with Mrs. Steele and Lauren Ashton. And we're looking at, they discussed the beginning of the year evaluations, the mid-year evaluations, and the end of year assessments. And now our teachers are looking at fall and winter data to advance student learning. And the common instructional practices were shared in addition to the professional development that's ongoing and creating safe and welcoming environments. The translation in our across our district is a plus, as well as our numerous community events, surveys and newsletters, and volunteer opportunities for our families. So I felt last night's presentation was exceptional, and I hope the PowerPoint and other information are available on your webpage. Today, I had the opportunity to attend the Capital Advisors and CSBA Governor's Budget presentation at 2 o'clock. I'm sorry, at 1 o'clock. It was a 2-hour presentation, and all of you should have received an invitation to it. And I hope that in the future you can attend one of these if you have the opportunity. Some of them are in person, and then some of them are virtual. And they gave a 2-hour overview of the governor's proposed budget. And if you know Kevin Gordon and Jack O'Connell, they have the knack. They have a knack at making jabs at congressional our leaders in Sacramento on both sides of the political spectrum, and also brag a little bit about past history, and also provide, what do I want to say, possible changes that they predict that will be happening and leading up to the May revise. I would say they were optimistic. They want us to stay tuned. They indicated that CTA is going to be becoming more involved around the second deferral, or the settle up that Mr. Vargas spoke about, and that the governor has the potential with the incoming revenue to resolve the budget problem this year if he has the political will to do it. So we'll have to see what happens. The December income was $3 billion higher than predicted. So it remains to be seen what will happen in these coming months towards June 30th, and what the revenue is, and how everybody plays the game. They predicted a couple of possible changes in the candidates for the governor's position, as well as for the state superintendent. So it's going to be an interesting spring. Thank you.
Trustee Zawi?
I have nothing.
Well, you have a lot. You're just not reporting tonight. Okay.
I have right.
The day after our last meeting, I had a trifecta. I went to Mount Diablo High School to the Career Pathways meeting that they had there. And then I shot over to the DLAC meeting where they had the presentation on AR, which was very good. And then swung over to Concord High, which is on my way home, to go to the APAC meeting and listen to the presentation of Martin Luther King. I find it fascinating that probably I might be the only person that was alive when he was assassinated, and the story that we heard at that time is very different than the true story that we hear today. I always learn something when I listen to Dr. Francis. I'm sorry he already left. I would have complimented him on that. And then on Monday, Martin Luther King Day of Service, I joined the city council member Carlin Obringer, and she invited me to go over and mulch trees with them in Hillcrest Park over in Concord. And it was freezing and cold and wet, but I had a lot of fun mulching trees with the folks from the city of Concord. And then by the time I got home to Bay Point, shock, it was the only time I saw sun in 2 weeks. So I went and worked in the garden at Riverview, cleaned up the garden and the leaves there for continue my day of service. And then I went to the PAC meeting yesterday, and it was a very comprehensive presentation on student services. And what I liked best about it is our kids don't come all in the same size with the same needs. So we're developing programs to meet kids at wherever they're at, to give them whatever they need to be as amazing as the students we saw her earlier this evening. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Clark.
All right. Thank you all for those presentations. You know, I'm very intentional in what I do and what I say, and so as I share these goals before every meeting, like these words have a purpose, and we see them live out in our students, and we see the reasons why our adults need guidance on what's important, and what we value, and what we stand for. And so I just think it's always important to have these at the front and center of the work that we're doing. You know, I think the students validated the things that I talk about all the time. And Alan, I did not meet with you to censor anything that they said or to go over anything that they said. And so, you know, there's a benefit to having a superintendent who understands young people and understands our systems and understands the narrative around our systems. And so, again, I'm not to bore you all to death, but we're going to talk data because I feel it. Our kids are listening, and the narrative that adults are talking about when it comes to our young people and our kids is not positive. And it trickles down to our kids. We heard it last night in the PAC meeting as we talked about the hundreds and hundreds of mental health issues that we have with our students. And we heard it tonight from directly from our students. I mean, what more evidence do we have? So like we can pull out data reports, we can pull out all these types of things, but I think talking to students and is something that really shows us and validates the work that we're doing and shows us the work that we still have to do yet. You know, Trustee Mayo talked about this. Again, it's the beginning of the year assessment, middle of the year assessment, end of the year assessment. Those are things that we are going to take extremely serious and we're going to look at extremely closely as we continue on from here out. For the last several years, we've been putting all these pieces together, and I really am excited, you know, about the coherence that we're seeing as a district, all the way from the board level, all the way down to our students and everyone in between. And so I have some secondary, this is going to be the secondary day. And, you know, our secondary director put out a spreadsheet to all the principals, and the principals filled in data sets and stuff that's going on at their schools. Just so I'm clear, we're measuring ELA, math, chronic absenteeism, and suspension rates. And Mr. Vargas said earlier that our ADA, our average daily attendance, has grown. That does not just happen. We have intentionally gone after attendance and making sure that students are at school every day, not for the financial bump that we may get, but we spend millions of dollars on programs. If the students aren't here, then it's all for naught. So our students have to be here. So our principals are being intentional at looking at their chronic absenteeism data. If not daily, weekly, and definitely monthly, we are logging that information. And you all know as a board, I've been unable over the last several years to give you all accurate data because we're all collecting it in different ways. And with the changes that we've made, we're now able to really collect that stuff very clearly. So this is Valley View Middle School. And again, they've decreased their chronic absenteeism from 13.9% down to 9%. Now, again, chronic absenteeism is when you miss 10% of the days of school that we've had so far. So if it's the first week of school and you miss one day of school, then you've missed 20% of the school year. So you can just think in a 180-day school year, it's not a lot to get to 10% where folks are chronically absent. And so here is Valley View, and it just shows suspension rate is down. In 7th grade, their reading increased. Now, it could mean that their 6th graders didn't increase and their 8th graders didn't increase, but you know what? The school knows that. And so now the school can target that and can start putting things in place to see how we can improve that. But STAR math their STAR math scores are above the district average across all grades. Pine Hollow, chronic absenteeism decreased by 2.7%, but then with their EL students, which has also been a target of ours, it decreased 6.5%. You know, I put up Pine Hollow's data in here many times because their suspension rates were off the charts. So guess what they're doing? They are focusing on their suspension rates. They have a youth court going on at the school where they bring conflicts and things like that to the students, and the students hear cases and render solutions, punishments, whatever you want to call it. But it's really working, and the principal there has a lot of good data over that, and they've reduced their suspension rates almost in half, a little more than half. And again, they're showing the highlights. And again, you may not be able to say like, yeah, every kid is growing at this rate or something, but let's celebrate what is going on. And I think that's what the young man was saying earlier is like, yeah, I'm getting straight A's. I'm a 4.0 student, but where's someone to pat me on the back and say, that's great. The young lady from YV, yeah, the news shows up all the time when there's a fight or there's a problem or there's something like that, but where are they when they're doing great things? The news does show up for their engineering and stuff like that. But other than that, like, just come on campus and interview kids. You can find a story. Diablo View, chronic absenteeism decreased. Again, Diablo View, our highest performing middle school, they're still focusing on their absentee rate. Maintain 0% full day suspension rate. I like that. Now they did put full day in there, so they're doing some fudging of the books and stuff like that. I get it. Whatever. It's all good as long as we're working in the right direction. And then also just that, like, this might seem like something little and someone might say, oh, well, where's your data on that? But you know what? Implementing school-wide literacy and collaboration focus on instructional walkthroughs, that's big, especially in such an isolating profession such as teaching. Usually, you know, you can do all these trainings and stuff and then teachers go in their classrooms, close the door, but to have it intentionally collaborative across the school, extremely proud of that. El Dorado, chronic absentee rates down. STAR ELA scores increased, math increased. Here they are, launched a wellness center. Now, we have wellness centers at all of our high schools, and we found the need that it's also in the middle schools here. And so they launched a wellness center this year. 201 students have already come assessing services in that wellness center. And again, to have a wellness center to keep, if you have a student who's having an episode, whatever it may be, to keep them out of the office dealing with the vice principal who's usually using with discipline, they're able to go and actually get help from the professionals, which would be social work specialists, MFT interns, things to that nature. So I'm proud of their work over there. Mount Diablo High School, chronic absentee rate decreased from 30%. 30% of their students are chronically absentee, are chronically absent. They brought it down to 19%. Still, hey, I'd like it to be at 0 or 1%, but you know what? We got to take wins where we can. Suspension rates reduced by 29%. You know, Dr. McCain, the principal there, when he took over, he had to suspend a lot of students because it was an issue. It's an issue at Mount Diablo High School with the bathrooms, right? Now, I listen to the students. Students are right, but you know what? Students do unthinkable things to bathrooms. And so things have happened. And so, like, you know, they went from, you know, they locked the doors. Now you need passes, all these things. But I think there's other things that you can do besides punitive things to go ahead and bring about change. And it's always that work in between. Strong after school tutoring and aligned grading practices. Now, if we can crack that nut and get aligned grading practices across core areas, we would be doing some amazing things. So they're at least having those conversations and working on that. Very proud of the work at Mount Diablo High School. Chronic absentees rate at Concord High School down 4.9%. Suspension rates decreased 3.1%. STAR scores, I know it says decrease, but 4% decrease in students below benchmark. So again, when you got students at that bottom level, they've decreased that number 4%. So it's all in the wording, but it's something to celebrate. Northgate High School. Now, Northgate, when we had conversations with Northgate about how their students who learn differently were progressing at that school. So look at what they put here. They're showing, like, our students with IEPs, their absentee rate was 21%. I guarantee you that the absentee rate for the Northgate overall body is nowhere near 21%. But students who have IEPs, who weren't feeling connected at the school and weren't being looked at with the highest of expectations, that's been a shift in that leadership. So that's something I want to celebrate. I want to acknowledge that. 17% of students raised their GPAs, earned AP Gold honor roll. I mean, I brought that up last week, but did just want to highlight them. Ignacio Valley High School, look at their chronic absentee rate, 33%. They got it down to 20. And then just in January last year, it was 22%. This January, it's down to 19%. or so, up to January or so. So again, something to celebrate there. Yeah, I mean, it's at least getting kids in school, and that is critically important. I would love for there to be, you know, all kinds of things on here, and I know there are, but the things we're focusing on are those areas you know, I don't want to hear about, oh, our basketball team got this award or our debate team got this award. I want to hear the whole card facts around our goals and how are they meeting the goals that we've set out. Olympic High School, one of our flagship schools, not just flagship alternative school, one of our flagship schools. They are absolutely kicking butt in all areas. Chronic absentee rate dropped. On-site mental health services increased 119%. So what that means is the needs of their students, mental health needs, are that much more. These are students who the regular high schools wasn't working for them. They're coming here. These students have gone through stuff. So they're showing that number. New workshop model boosted student participation by 9. Now I might have to check on Adrian what like 960% is, but they're doing some good work there. You know, I like this. Severe behaviors of hate violence down 75%. That is great. And positive referrals up 151%. So again, just can't, you know, and again, they have a small population. So you get, you know, that's why you have these big, huge numbers, because it's a small population there. But I think what it's shown is that there's a tremendous amount of needs at that school, and they're working very hard to address those needs and calling it out. College Park, their bullying suspensions dropped from 8 down to 0, which I think is good. And that student today brought up, I mean, just the wherewithal of that young student to say, and this is what she said: when you have the group mentality, students do things that they wouldn't do, you know, like normally, right, on their own. And that group mentality leads to some of this. But I think and the way you combat it is you have an administrator out there who knows everyone by name, who walks the halls, who knows what's going on with students, who's a trusted thing, instead of that punitive relationship where I'm out to get you, how can I get you, walking around with the walkie-talkies, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, but flipping that and being much more positive. Like that's an example of that. And then consistent tutoring in ELA math, co-teaching model implemented. Co-teaching model, I just want to say, what that means is usually with students who learn differently, unfortunately, in our systems, we often isolate those kids. We often send them out. We send them to a resource specialist. When you have a co-teaching model, the resource specialist comes into the room and teaches with the teacher, and not just, oh, you take your 4 kids who have IEPs and go sit in the back table and work with them. That's not, it's actually treating them all as professionals. And it might be the regular teacher working with the students who have IEPs and learn differently. And it might be the IEP teacher, the resource teacher, who's working with other students. But that's that co-teaching model. For that to be happening at any of our high schools is a thumbs up. And hopefully that's something that can spread out and then just earned a spot on the AP honor roll. And I know Dr. Richardson talked about that last week. So again, that's my presentation. I feel, and again, I did not sync up with these students, but because, and you heard it from our students, because of the negative rhetoric from adults about our students, they need people who are going to advocate for them. And that is what I see as the primary purpose of my job here in this district, is to advocate for our students. And if I could spend all day, every day with students, it would be a lot easier. But working with adults is difficult, but I'm up for the task, and we have a great team, and everyone is rowing the boat. In the words of PJ Fleck, football coach for the University of Minnesota, he says, row the damn boat. Everyone needs to be rowing in the right direction, and that's what we're doing in trying to serve our students, and I'm extremely proud of that work, and like nothing better than to show it off when I come to these meetings. We're not there yet, but we are getting there, and we're heading in the right direction. So thank you. That concludes my report.
You. Okay.
I'd like to make a comment. I want to thank you, Dr. Clark, for leading this district. And I want to call out, there were many points to call out in your presentation, but for Olympic High School and their wellness program to see an increase of 119% of students seeking mental health services, that's amazing because the students felt comfortable and safe visiting there and seeking those services. That's a huge step because it takes a lot of courage to be able to seek out assistance and mental health services. I also want to call out College Park High School. Tonight we heard the student using the word scholars. He called himself and his peers scholars. I had a conversation with a grandmother who I've known for many years over the holidays, and she called out Dr. Robertson. She mentioned that he calls the students scholars. So this is the grandmother repeating what she heard from her grandchild, and the fact that he knows every student's name on campus. So she has heard this from her grandson as well. These are the connections and the relationships that we need to make sure that our students feel supported and stay on our campuses so they can be successful. And I just want to thank everybody in the room and everybody that's involved. Thank you.
And Trustee May, I just want to share the word scholars and what it means and why Dr. Richardson uses it. Superintendent Janet Schultz from Pittsburgh, she uses it. During the attacks on the terms of equity and things like that, when school boards in the South and in Republican states were outlawing the terms of equity and things like that, educators needed to find ways to describe their students, and they came up with the term scholars. And so this is what scholars mean. Scholars are individuals dedicated to deep learning, research, and expertise in academic or intellectual fields. So that is what we call our students, and it really is around scholars. And I personally, I don't use the term. I like calling them students and young people, but there's a reason why that term is used, and there's a reason why superintendents and educational leaders use it. And so I appreciate you picking up on that and bringing up that term. So anyway.
I also chuckled when he used scholar because I'm like, oh, there's Dr. Richardson rubbing off on his students. And I love that as much as we make fun of it in my own house because my daughter is like, oh, scholars. But it's making fun of and appreciation because this for the same reasons of being seen by that leader on campus of how important it is and how they hear every morning, good morning, scholars. And now they think of themselves as that, even if they might chuckle because he's dependable.
But you'll find it used where there's minority students. That's the term that they had to use in order to. And this isn't like, I'm not telling like Harriet Tubman tales or anything like that. We're talking like 5 years ago and stuff. So this is all relevant. Anyway, I digress. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we are to the consent agenda. If there's nothing to be pulled, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the items listed under the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion by Trustee Nzewi, second by Trustee McDougal, correct? Okay. All these male voices this way, I gotta distinguish. Okay, Trustee. Why am I blanking on your name tonight? I keep wanting to say Alan. That's not appropriate. Okay. Trustee Herrera Oriana. Your mom's going to be sending me an email.
Yes.
Thank you. Waiting. Did everybody vote?
Scroll up. There you go.
Okay, that passed 5-0-0. Okay, with consent from our student. All right. Next item is action. 18.1, review and potential approval of the school plans for student achievement.
Yeah, Joe Bruno, president of Delta View, or principal of Delta View, is going to do a presentation. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Come on, Philios. I'm just messing with you. No, it's all good. You're on.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. Previously, we brought to you the school-wide plans for Westwood Elementary School and Concord High School, and also for Riverview Middle School and Olympic High School. And tonight we are bringing the bulk of the rest of the site plans for your approval. We have attached Delta View Elementary School, Highlands Elementary School, and Oak Grove Middle School's plans as
Dr. Ramos.
samples. Yes, Dr. Ramos is also here along with Principal Bruno. We thank them. And Dr. Nurheim sends her apologies. She has a family emergency, but please let us know if there are any questions.
Philios, can you tell me why these are coming in different
In different phases. Well, most of our schools approve somewhere in late October to November, and then we do have a review process. But we've had some shifts we have new principals, et cetera. So there's some timeline shifts, but for the most part, it takes us just a little moment to review the plans and ensure that everything's in place in case anything needs to go back to school site council. And we do have a few plans that I will bring at the next meeting. Again, we've had some leadership changes at our sites. And so for some special extenuating circumstances, we'll have a few coming in the next 2 weeks.
Well, I would just say that I read them all. And first thing I say is thank you to the school sites. There is a lot of information there. I know it's got to take a lot of time to gather. It's got to take a lot of time to put down, but it really, like Dr. Clark's presentation, you can get a sense of what's going on at the schools and the improvements and the adjustments they're making. So I thank all the staffs and the principals for doing them. It really is a good snapshot for us board members to see what's going on at our schools. So I don't mind that they keep coming in little chunks because it gives us more time to read them in between. Any other comments from board members? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam President, I move the board approve item 18.1, the school plans for student achievement.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have motion by trustee Lawrence, second by trustee McDougall. How do you vote, trustee Barrero Oriana?
Yes.
And that passes 500 with consent from our student. Okay, 18.2, review and potential approval of changes to board policies and administrative regulations for California School Board Association. And this one is for action.
I move to approve the revisions to board policies 5113.1 and administrative regulations 5113.1 as presented.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by trustee Nzewi, second by trustee Mayo. Trustee Barrero Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes.
And that passes 500 with consent from our student trustee. 18.3, review and changes to board policies and administrative regulations for California School Board Association recommendation June 25 quarterly update. This also is an action item.
Madam President, I move the board approve item 18.3, changes to board policies and administrative regulations per CSBA recommendations.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by trustee Lawrence, second by trustee McDougall. Trustee Barrero Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes.
And that passes 500. And that would conclude our meeting unless there is, I left trustee Lawrence out last time. Any recommendations for future agendas for any board members?
No, ma'am.
Nothing? We are adjourned.